So today in this class we are going to discuss about the topic called vectors. Vectors in physics. ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. So vectors, we know vectors are quantities, physical quantities which has both magnitude and direction. Okay, അപ്പം in physics we need to discuss about the basically vector addition we need to discuss. It's very important. Then vector addition, triangular law of vector addition we need to discuss. Then parallelogram law of vector addition we need to discuss. It's very important. Then resolution of vectors, this is the most important. We need to know how to solve a vector. Then multiplication of vectors, which include the scalar product and the vector product. So we will discuss each one of these. First of all, we need to know what is the angle between two vectors. It's a very important concept. Angle between two vectors, how we will calculate. Suppose an vector A, if a physical quantity A is represented by a vector as A and it has a symbol like this, like an arrow above the A, where this part is called the tail and the arrow part is called the head. So what are the angle between two vectors? Suppose A is a vector and B is a vector. So what is the angle between the two vectors? This is the angle between two vectors, or this is the angle between two vectors? So the angle between two vectors is the smaller of the two angles between the vectors when they are joined tail to tail. That means if two vectors are diverging like this, two vectors, the smallest angle between this, not this angle, the smallest angle between this, the angle between the two vectors. Suppose if A is given like this and B is given like this, and this is angle is called 60 degree. What is the angle between vector A and B? If somebody asked, we should not say it is 60 degree. That is wrong. Angle between two vectors is the angle between the two vectors diverging. Because if vector A, if represented like this, we can extend this. That's called translation. We can parallelly translate this vector to anywhere like this. That's why if we translating the vector to this, the vectors became diverging. The angle between two vectors is this much. This much means 180 minus 60, that is 120 degree is the angle between A and B. See, that is the angle. The angle between the two vectors is the smallest angle between when they are joined tail to tail. This is very important. Next one is vector addition. We need to know vector addition. How to add two vectors? First one, parallelogram law we need to know. Parallelogram law. Suppose I have two vectors A, B. So diverging vectors. So the angle between the two vectors, suppose it is theta. And I want to find the addition of these two vectors. So what's parallelogram law states that if you want to add these two vectors and theta be the angle between them, so just to complete this parallelogram, like drawing like this, and the resultant, this will be the addition of two vectors. The diagonal will be the resultant, and that will be the addition of two vectors. And this has the formula where the resultant has the formula root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This is the general formula we need to remember. How to derive this? Derivation is very easy. So we know these are angle between two vectors. So if you drop a perpendicular to here, a vector is this is b vector. So I told any vector can be translated parallelly. So this vector is also b. Okay, this is also b. So this much is a, and suppose what is this much angle? Means this b, this is also theta only, correct? Those corresponding angles. So if this is b and this much will be b cos theta. How? If we taken cos theta equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse is mod b. Okay, so adjacent is what? B cos theta. So this much length will be what? A plus b cos theta, correct? If you are neglecting the magnitude. And this is perpendicular. So we know the resultant can be calculated by the Pythagoras theorem. So by Pythagoras theorem, suppose this is O and C D in triangle ODC. Hypotenuse square means r square is equal to base square means a plus b cos theta whole square. A plus b cos theta whole square plus this side is how much? B cos theta. So this is b sin theta whole square. How? Because sin theta is opposite side by hypotenuse. Opposite side by hypotenuse. So opposite side by hypotenuse means opposite side we will get b into sin theta. It's like this. When we resolve the vector, we can easily tell if b is inclined theta with respect to the horizontal, then the adjacent component will be b cos theta and the opposite is b sin theta. Like that we can resolve. So when we expand this r square equal to a square plus 2ab cos theta plus b square cos square theta plus b square sin square theta. So what we will get? R square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So resultant r can be written as root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This is the resultant. And if you are telling alpha is the angle made the resultant with the horizontal, we can calculate tan alpha. Tan alpha is opposite side by hypotenuse. What is opposite side? B sin theta. Opposite side is what? Opposite side is b sin theta by a plus b cos theta. This is the angle made with the horizontal of the resultant. So this we need to know. Now if two vectors are suppose a and b are parallel, then what is the angle between the two vectors? 0 degree. So what is the resultant? Root of a square plus b square plus 2ab. This is of the form root of a plus b whole square. That means just add. If two vectors are inclined at 0 degree, just add. Opposite means what? This is first case. The second case is theta 180 degree. Resultant will be a minus b. If two vectors are perpendicular to each other, AB, then what will come? Root of a square plus b square resultant. These are important things, so we need to know this thing. If two vectors are perpendicular, then root of a square plus b square is a resultant of the two vectors. Okay, suppose if we can solve a question. Magnitude of three vectors given: a 3, b 4, c 5, and they given a plus b is equal to c vector. An angle between a and b they are asking. So c vector they given as a plus b. Suppose we take the mode of this resultant. Na? C is the resultant of two vectors, correct? Means addition of two vectors. How the resultant will be? Root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. That's we have seen now. Resultant of two vectors. C is equal to a plus b means C is the resultant of a plus b. So we can write like this. C is mode given as how what? This we can write as C square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This is the angle between A and B. So C square means 25 equal to 9 plus 16 plus 2 into 12 cos theta. 25 equal to 25 plus 24 cos theta. So 0 equal to 24 cos theta 0. So theta equal to pi by 2. See, this is how we will find the angle between two vectors. Now another one question we can see. The maximum and minimum of the resultant of two vectors are given by. So R max is given as, this is the maximum of the resultant. Resultant in the maximum. Resultant maximum is given as 17 and minimum is resultant 7. That means we know if A and B are two vectors, then the resultant maximum is what? A plus B. I had told you before. And our minimum is what? A minus B. This is what they given. And they are telling if these two vectors are right angle to each other, means it's like this. Then the magnitude of the resultant. This is what they are asking. Okay, that is what we know, it is root of a square plus b square. This is also told. So we need to know what is A and B. But they given R max and R minimum. R max is 17 is equal to A plus B. R minimum 7 is equal to A minus B. These two they given. So if you are adding this, we will get 24 equal to 2A. A is 12. Simply we will get. Then B is equal to 5. So what is the resultant? Root of 144 plus 25, that is what root of 169, that is what 13. See, very easy problem. So these kind of problems you need know to solve. Okay. Same like we can tell about the triangular law. So what is this triangular law? Here we told parallelogram law. Triangular law means if A is a vector, is into the head of this vector another tail of a vector is joined, and the resultant they are telling this will be the resultant, and this is the A plus B. So one to the head of one vector and the tail is joined, and if you are connecting from the tail of A to the head of the B, then that will be the resultant. And this will be the angle between the two vectors, not this. Okay, that we should remember. Okay, this is same as like a parallelogram. We can derive parallelogram law from this, because here if we extend A, because A is parallel, we can extend it. It will be the same vector. Then see, we can create the parallelogram law from here itself. This is also the resultant. This resultant is same as this resultant. So like that also we can develop this. So for the time being, we need to know what is triangular law and how to form the triangular law. Okay. Okay. Now we can solve one problem. If the magnitude of sum of two vectors is equal to magnitude of the difference between two vectors. Okay, magnitude of this sum of two vectors is equal to the magnitude of the difference of two vectors. Okay, the sum of two vectors magnitude we know, A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Difference of two vectors, A minus B. A minus B is nothing but A addition of a plus minus b. So what will be the resultant? Just to put minus b, a square plus b square plus minus 2ab cos theta. They are asking what is the angle between these two vectors. So just solve it. A square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta. So a square, b square, everything cancel. For ab cos theta is equal to 0. Theta is equal to pi by 2. A and b cannot be zeros. That's why cos theta is equal to 0. That means theta equal to pi by 2. Okay. Now we'll solve one problem. Problem is this one. A particle is moving. A particle is moving with velocity 5 meter per second towards the east, and its velocity changes to 5 meter per second north in 10 seconds. Find its acceleration. Find the acceleration. So if you draw the normal figure, north, south, west, east, a particle is moving with the velocity 5 meter per second towards the east. Okay, 5 meter per second, and its velocity changes to 5 meter per second north in, okay, north they again change in 10 seconds. Find its acceleration. Well, acceleration is what I told, v2 minus v1 by t. So we need to, first vector is like this, 5 meter per second east, then second vector they told 5 meter per second north. So this is v1, this is v2. Okay, so v2 minus v1. So v1 we need to negative. So if this is 5 meter per second, if v2 is towards right, v1 will be minus v1 will be like this. They change in 10 seconds. So v2 minus v1 means v2 plus minus v1. This what we have done. So resultant will be what? Like it is perpendicular, because this will be the resultant. That will be root of 5 square plus 5 square. So acceleration is root of 5 square plus 5 square divided by 10 seconds. That means root of 50 by 10. That means 25. 5 root 10 by 10, 2. That means 1 by root 2 meter per second square. See how easily we solve. So this is based on vector addition. If it is changing like that, then we need to know how to add two vectors. Subtraction is just what negative of that one vector, means addition of the negative of the other vector. Okay, remaining we can discuss in the next class.